All right, another episode of Conversate After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have an interesting topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to the past episodes and make sure you tell everybody about the show. So, Tay, New Year,
Yes,
New Year, New You, or New Year still same you?
same me.
New Year, same me, but I am trying to do better on some things. So we're gonna make some adjustments. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, let's do the icebreaker.
Okay. Icebreaker is what was your best orgasm? Was it with yourself or someone else?
Damn. Uh, Shoot, let me think. I'm gonna say with somebody else. Somebody
Okay.
else. Yeah. I mean, you definitely know how to get yourself off, right? But I think um with somebody else, you can build and build like I know for like one instance. I mean, I've had several different ones, throughout the years that I've been actively having sex. But I remember one time in college, I had a girlfriend who was back at home, and we told each other that we were going to have, obviously abstain from everything because obviously I wasn't supposed to be cheating, but abstain from like masturbating and everything until like we saw each other again, like after a couple of months. So I just remember that time when we, finally hooked back up. It was all that. So definitely, um, with a partner, I do think that you can give yourself as guys. I know women, especially if women are multi-orgasmic, I think that they're able to really like do some amazing stuff on their lonesome. I think for a guy, edging really helps increase the the orgasm, but otherwise it never beats being with somebody else.
Okay.
The potential, because not everybody can get you right, but the
Right. I get it.
potential of being with somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have to say my best one I gave to myself.
That's not
Um,
shocking. That's not
yeah,
shocking.
yeah. It was me with a combination of toys. Um, I've often said, well, I don't know if I've often said it, but I've said it beforehand that I've only squirted once, and it was something I gave to myself, and that was the time. So yeah.
Okay. Was it that old Hitachi wand?
Actually, no. It was a combination of a vibrator and a dildo. But the thing about the dildo, because I don't usually like those, it was one um that has ridges at the base of it, and it I don't want to make the movements.
The
But
curve.
it no, 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 not that it curves. Actually that was part of it. That was part of it. But it moves in and out on its own too. Well, not on its own, but the mechanics of it move in and out. And that with the ridges at the base of it.
Mhm.
So the ridges are at the opening of the
Mhm.
vaginal canal.
Yeah.
So it was curved, so it was reaching the G spot. I was actually using another toy, a vibrator on my clit, and then the ridges at the entrance, like the three of those together, like that was like an amazing an amazing time. But I've been with people who have been able to, I shouldn't say people like that. I mean, makes it seem a little crazy. I have been with people who have been able to give me some outstanding ones, but that one was the best.
Have you ever been able to duplicate it?
No. Not even with myself.
What?
I've gotten close, but I don't know what it was about that one time. I don't know what it was, but I have not been able to duplicate it.
So do you use porn or do you go off memories or do you look at pictures? What do you use?
Porn or stories. there's a site I go to that has the people can submit their erotic stories. And I told you as a kid, I got into the Pentagon penthouse letters. So I've been
Gotcha.
a fan. Yeah, I've been a fan of erotic stories ever since. It goes with the neurophilia.
So you and I still don't know how to spell that shit. So so like you like read and do you work at the same time, or you read it and then conceptualize what you read?
At the same time, I only need one hand to use a toy,
Oh, okay.
and then the other hand is on the phone.
I've been there. I've been there.
Phone or book, because back in the day, I used to buy penthouse letters. Actually, used to come out with books with that had all of the letters in it. So
Like
I used to buy,
compilation of them.
yeah, so I used to buy the books back in the day.
So there's this website, I don't mind shouting them out. There's an IG, there's a condom manufacturer named B Condoms.
Hmm.
They actually make pretty good condoms. They are vegan. They don't have like that smell. And for condoms, it's you can feel okay. You know,
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan, but shout out to Michelle. She's watching right now. Wrap it before you tap it, all that stuff, right? But they have their Instagram where they post like sex positions, different stuff or whatever. And they got this thing on the end of the week where they do weekly confessions. So people submit like stories, whatever, like, oh, I slept with my roommate's boyfriend and we did it for XYZ, or I'm a guy and I like watching my wife, get banged by other guys. And they have some pretty crazy stories. But sometimes I'm like, this shit is made up. This couldn't have really happened. You ever thought that some of those letters were like fake?
Yeah. Um. Af yeah. After I got older, I started to think that they were fake.
It's sort of like Cheaters. Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched Cheaters.
I have.
So, that used to be like a ritual for me and my ex-wife. Like it came on the Sunday nights. We lived in Houston at the time. And so it was like 10 o'clock. So after like, the most of your Sunday evening shows went off. And we would send the kids to bed and we would just watch Cheaters and we would laugh. And I look at it and I used to be like, man, Cheaters ain't got fake. But I was watching it with a couple of friends of mine just a couple of days ago, like some of the most episodes. Now, I think some of it was real. Like there was one
Hmm.
with a guy, he caught his girl in the backseat getting dug out. Then he tried to fight the dude that was digging out his girlfriend, and the dude that was digging out his girlfriend knocked him out. And I was like, damn, bro. Like your wife getting dug out and you get knocked out by the dude that was digging it out. Like you can't it don't get no worse than that. But some of the shit I was just like, how they get these angles? Like
Hmm.
every time they're trying to get, the people into the house, the people got the blinds open, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't,
Yeah. A lot of that stuff is fake. Uh, yeah, like I said, back in the day when I first came upon the penthouse letters, I was a teenager, so I thought everything was real. But as I got older, I started finding stories on other once the internet came about, and started finding stories on other sites, and saw that when people were submitting their actual stories that they wrote, and then I was like, oh, okay, so maybe all of those stories I read back in the day weren't true.
yeah. But still got the job done, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You ever have your partner have an issue with the amount of time you spent reading or watching porn and masturbating? You ever had a partner felt like, hey, listen, this is an issue for me?
Um, no, because for the most part, I've never masturbated in the presence of another person unless that was something that they asked to see, which I don't really like, but I'll do it for because I'm a natural pleaser, so if they ask for it, I'll do it. But um, yeah, so that's never been an issue that's been brought up to me.
Okay. All right. Uh, Darren said cheaters is real. And, Joe said cheaters set folks up. Man, there were some episodes. There definitely was some of them episodes that was real. There was definitely some
Mhm.
that were real. But then, some of them I was just like, they can't be this damn stupid. Like, they can't be. So yeah, I think I never really had a problem. I never had a partner have an issue with me like jacking off. I mean, because I don't think it became, I think it became like cliche to say porn addiction.
Mhm.
Kirk Franklin came out with his interview and he talked about, his problems with porn and everything. I definitely could see how people could get addicted to porn and how it could have an adverse impact on your relationship and your sex life because I'll be honest with you, I've done like fast where I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna jack off for a month or two. And it definitely does improve like your sex life because I think if you overstimulate yourself by yourself, you get used to that and needing that to get to where you need to get to. And then also, you're not you're not at full capacity. So you could go you could go longer. So I definitely think it's a better thing the less you masturbate if you're in a relationship.
Yeah, there was a time in my life where I was with I was masturbating every single day, whether I was in a relationship or not. It pretty much was every single day. And I did notice that.
I don't, is that a bad thing?
No, no, it's
I've definitely been there before.
I'm getting to why it could be a bad thing based on what you said. So I did notice that um after years of doing that, those certain toys don't work on didn't work on me anymore because the vibration wasn't strong enough. And when I would get a vibrator that had some good power, I needed it at the highest power.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can desensitize yourself. And actually, I heard about people. Well, I don't know if it was a real thing or if it was something people were saying, but people were saying you could get addicted to porn long before Kirk Franklin because growing up as a church kid, that was another thing I used to hear about why you shouldn't watch porn because you can get addicted to it.
Uh, I can see it happening. Darren said the new episodes of Peter Guns is hilarious. The irony. So funny story about that. I live in Dallas Fort Worth, and they film cheaters in Dallas Fort Worth.
Mhm.
One morning, I was at Target, and you know how like you see a celebrity, but you don't like. Obviously, there's like certain celebrities you can recognize off the jump. You be like, oh my God, Mary J, or oh my God, Beyonce. So I'm looking, and I'm like, it's like 8:30 on a Sunday morning in Dallas, cold, dreary morning. And I'm looking and I'm like, damn, where I know this brother from? And so like we both kind of like walking down the tile aisles and looking at comforters, whatever. And then finally, like it hits me. I'm like, oh shit, that's Peter Guns. And he sees that I made the realization who he is. So he's like, I'm like, "Oh, motherfucker, you Peter Guns, dog. You had like one hit record. And shout out to
Yeah,
Peter Guns. I ain't trying to dish you, dog. But to be like, like, don't tell nobody. Like it's gonna cause mass hysteria there. I'm like, oh god, Peter Guns is in Target. So,
right, right.
like, I called my homegirl and I was like, yo, hey, you ain't gonna fucking believe this. Like, I just seen Peter Guns in Target. And we were just like, she said, what the fuck is Peter Guns doing in Target? I'm like, I had no idea. But then her sister was like, yo, he's the new host of Cheaters. So I was like, that makes sense. But yeah, he was like, don't blow up my spot. Like, get the fuck out.
Hilarious.
Peter was doing some crazy dirt on that.
Mm.
Like, man, dude, like what you wilding out. Michelle says the rose can be addictive, but it gets you to where you need to be in 3.5 seconds. Not her. Tay.
And this is what I'm saying about years of using it being desensitized. The rose is okay. It don't do for me what I hear other women,
But
hyping up about.
but you mentioned vibration.
But
Doesn't the rose more of a suction type deal?
it's still on the clit though, so it's still in the same area. I'm talking about toys desensitizing your body parts. So yeah,
Even with men or
it's
other partners.
it's not that it's not um Technically, I don't know. Maybe the guys have been outstanding. I don't know. Let me think about this. I have to think about it because I'm saying, I can actually have an orgasm with guys. But I think maybe that might be more of a mental thing because I always say a toy can never replace a human because you don't have those human emotions, those, all the extra stuff that comes with being a
Yeah,
human that a
yeah.
toy
Like
can't
I
do.
said, at the beginning of the show, yeah, for sure. Yep.
Yeah. So I think maybe for me, maybe it's a mental thing because I can actually have an orgasm from a guy and it's, you know, humans can't do what toys do, so.
I'll tell you, ask, what about motorboat in the clit? Asking for a friend.
No, you gotta do more than that. It's a whole thing with me. That doesn't just work just that by itself. No.
That's a process, huh?
Yes.
Process. Yeah, I definitely could see how you could become desensitized to different things. Because I think there's somewhat of, like I said, the desensitization. I saw somebody say this on social media. This chick was like, "Hey, women, don't sit out here trying to you know rack your brain on how to please these dudes. All they do is sit there and watch porn and jack off. You ain't gonna never be able to please them because they too accustomed to their hand." And I was like, "God damn, motherfucker, that's harsh." But then I was like, it might be, it may be a little bit of truth to that. Maybe a little bit of truth.
Uh, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't think so.
I've never had any issues. Let me stop. I'm just joking.
I, I, so, we talking about Peter Guns and like, the drama that he was in. And one thing I noticed about him all the time was like, he was always like in arguments with his chicks, right? Uh,
Hmm.
I never really watched those shows. The one thing about those Love and Hip Hop shows, they would always be on like back to back to back to back whenever I caught them, right? And then like once you got into it, it was like hooked. And I noticed it was just like all this turmoil between the couples, and sometimes they would like put their hands on each other, sometimes they would throw shit, like throw drinks to each other's face or whatever. And that's just not how I get down when it comes to having a disagreement with my partner.
Hmm.
And I saw something and I shared it with you, um, and because it's shared in the group that we have about fight languages. Now,
Hmm.
everyone's pretty much, familiar with love languages, quality time, physical touch, acts of service. What's the other ones, Tay?
Words of affirmation and gifts.
And gifts, right? But fight languages, the article was, somebody asked, what's your fight language? I was talking to somebody and I asked them, I said, hey, what's your fight language? And it like threw them for a loop. Because they was just like, well, damn, why would you ask me that? And then secondly, I don't really know how to answer that
Hmm.
because it's almost admitted like, yeah, I do fight. Things not gonna be perfect. Why are we focusing on the negative? And I'll be honest with you, Tay, I know my fight language.
Hmm.
I think it contributes to why some people say I'm a little bit toxic. But what's your thought on the whole fight language thing, and what's your fight language?
Okay. Well, first, maybe we should say what the five languages are, I guess, so people can know what we're talking about.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the first one is reflection. It's when you have to process things on your own and then you come back and you can kind of say what's on your mind, why you disagree with the person, that type of thing. Second one is deflection. So changing the subject or trying to make the person laugh instead of, arguing or
Like
put
98% of all women do that shit right there. But go ahead.
no, trying to make somebody laugh or trying to deflect this and blame it on things. That's men that don't. So we're not gonna go there again because people do this stuff, not just men or women. But that's another thing. Put placing blame on the other person. Um, suppression. Suppression is when you hold everything in and then something will trigger you and you just explode on person. Um, Aggressive confrontation is when you talk loud, you try to stand over people, you try to dominate within the conversation. And the last one is mediation. So where you try to come up with a compromise which to me that sounds the most healthiest. It's when you're trying to come up with a compromise that will be best for both people.
So now that we have like them listed, I would say that I'm more of like a mediator.
Hmm.
Um, the reflecting and coming back, I don't like that because I feel like sometimes you never really come back. It's like, we separate and then it's like you want something to eat or, saying, come over here and, y'all start spooning or whatever. And you never really address the topic. I would rather address it right then and there. I don't know why I think my brother told me when I got married, he's like, hey, never go to bed mad. And shit, that was hard. Sometimes it's like, shit, I'm not ready to stop being angry at her or vice versa. So I would try to, because of that advice that my brother gave me, I always try to like, hey, listen, let's address this. Um, I feel as if I've had one or two relationships where somebody was able to communicate effectively and we could actually do that and say, hey, let's talk it out. But most of it I've dealt with and I made the joke, and in joke, there's a lot of truth. A lot of the women that I've dealt with, accountability has been somewhat of an issue. And if it's not about accountability, it's about me trying to. You ever try to explain your point of view to somebody, and in the midst of you trying to explain it, they'll like hone in on one thing, and then next thing you know, you're defending this, and then next thing you know, you're defending that, and then the whole gist of what you're trying to say to them gets lost because you're fighting all these different things. Um,
Hmm.
so that sort of deflection, that don't work for me because I feel like that's game, and I believe a lot of women are a lot faster and quicker when it comes to having a great discussions on that level. It's my opinion. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just slow, but I feel like women are a lot more faster, and it's easy to get caught up into that, and you never really win or get your opinion heard.
Um, I can disagree with that because you have never dated men, so you can't speak to what men do in relationships and fights, but I can. And
But
that deflection thing happens a lot, especially what you said, pointing on one thing and trying to make the point when the point was something was what we were talking about over here. That has happened to me a lot. Being quick on their feet and trying to flip my words around. That used to happen to me a lot when I was younger, which is why reflection is my fight language because I need the time to be able to process my thoughts and so that when I do come back, I can say everything I need to say coherently. Because when I get with somebody who likes to deflect, and I'm just coming off of emotion, they can twist that a lot,
yeah,
twist my words.
it's definitely a tactic. It's a
Yeah,
tactic because, like, if you really care about the person you're with, you should be able to sit there and hear them out
right.
and allow them to say what exactly is the issue or problem that they have. But if you're automatically on defensive mode and like, well, you do this and you do that, and what about this situation? And what about this? I can't stand that. And the whole aggressive, that's the ultimate no-go for me. That's,
Yeah, yeah.
and I would think something people probably sleep on is the suppression, because that right there, if you're with somebody who suppresses, then you don't know. And then one thing happens and they just react, they blow up, and it's disproportionate to the actual situation. So, like, I keep telling you to put the toilet seat down, and I'm sick of all your selfishness, and you never consider me. You're just like, whoa, hold the fuck on, wait. Okay, I'll go put the toilet seat down. Where all this other shit coming from? So I think that is a certified relationship killer. My
Hmm.
and that's suppressing shit.
Yeah, I agree. And when I was younger, that was me. Um, and it comes because and I've said this before. Um, when I was a child or something, my mother told me that my words cut and I can hurt people's feelings. So I never try to come off that way. So I tend to hold a lot of stuff in. Plus, I'm quiet Plus, I sometimes I think people don't really care. So I tend to hold things in. So when I was younger, it did come out as suppression. Like you say one thing and it would be every single thing I've ever thought about that you did wrong would come out. And I'm a Capricorn. I have a good memory and I analyze everything. So every single thing that you've ever done to me will come out. But as you get older, you should learn, you should grow. And that's when I realized I'm somebody who needs to reflect, but I do have to get it out. Yeah. Because that suppression is not healthy at all.
And I honestly think there should be an additional fight language and
Hmm.
fine, fleeing. I'm out of there. And
Yeah.
I know that that's baggage that I have from, my marriage. There's unfortunately, a lot of arguing and disagreements. So now, even when it may be just a slight disagreement where, hey, listen, we can communicate and we can talk this out. Um, if it gets to be too much, if I perceive it as being too much,
Hmm.
deuces. And I know that's not healthy. I know that you should be able to talk and grow and understand one another, but if I don't feel like you got the skill set to be able to communicate effectively, and you doing all that other shit, some of the other stuff that you listed, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm gone.
Yeah, I agree. Which is why I kind of get to go back to where I said I think that mediation may be the healthiest way because in that regard, you're trying to hear what the other person has to say, get your points across, and then come to some type of resolution, which I find that outside of relationships, I'm pretty good at trying to come up with conflicts with um
Conflict resolution.
yeah, with resolving things quickly with people. But in a relationship, it's harder for me to do that.
Why you think what's the difference? You holding a vendetta?
No, not necessarily holding a vendetta. I don't know why. I don't know why. I know I try to come up. Well, this is the thing. When you have more experience with one person. So I try to come up to be that person who can compromise with people. But if I feel that it's not being reciprocated, then I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me. And that's yeah. So it's not healthy. So I think that's why outside of a relationship, because I don't have the experience with other people.
Okay.
And I don't really care. If I'm not in a relationship with, not just that I don't care, but you know what I'm saying? It doesn't hold as much weight with me, you
I-
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that matching energy shit too. And that's another thing I'm not doing it anymore. Because if I can't be my authentic self, because if you think about it, if you're matching energy, I'll speak for myself. Um, I'm not being true to form. I'm doing it because I resent something that they're doing. And I'm not going to really be at peace operating in that way. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to see that, whatever you're trying to do. So you're really just hurting yourself in that
True.
type of situation. So if I have to go to that level, I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah,
I've
I
done
can
it
see
before.
it.
I've done it before, and it don't really work. Not for me though. Maybe I'm just speaking for me. It
No,
don't.
I get it.
It,
Matching energies is why I curse now. There was a time in my life I didn't curse at all. Then I got into a relationship and it was a toxic relationship, but we argued all the time. And once he started cursing, I would curse him back out. And yeah, now I can't stop. And that relationship been over years ago, and I can't stop cursing.
so my my ex used to get on me about cursing because I obviously I curse a lot. I try not to curse that much on the show because you don't curse, but I feel like there's a difference between cursing while I'm talking versus me cursing at you.
Oh, there's a big difference. There's a
So,
big difference.
but she would be like, "No, you're gonna be cussing." I'm like, "I'm not cussing at you." Like if I'm calling you like a stupid motherfucker or saying things like that, that's cursing at you.
Hmm.
Calling you a dumbass or anything like that. But if it's just me cursing, like, then you did this type of shit and whatever, there's a difference there.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. Because I do have another ex who cursed like a sailor, but that was his normal language, so it didn't bother me as much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, because my thing is you don't be cursing and shit, and you be tee hen with your little work husband. You know what I'm saying? So you treat me the same. Yeah, you ever had a work husband, Tay?
No, and it's weird that I never have because majority of my adult life I've worked in male dominated fields, and it seems like I should have had a work husband at some point, but never have.
I've never had a work wife. I've always been like popular with the women at work,
Hmm.
but and there's been some serious flirtation, but that whole like we go to lunch together all the time and this, that, and the other, like, nah, I'm not the one 'cause I'm trying to fuck. And I think the whole point of the work wife, work husband is not to smash. Just, y'all just cool at the office. And that ain't I know me. I'm not built for that.
Right. I think the how it originated was people who were cool in the office and they would help each other in the office or be some kind of stress reliever in conversation in the office. But in a lot of situations, that has ended in affairs. So I think that's why a lot of people have issues with their partner having a work husband or wife.
Turn into an old Joy Taylor situation.
Exactly.
What you think about that? I mean, because I saw people were like, it's funny how this whole lawsuit happens, and the person who's getting the most negative publicity is the black woman. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, there's a lot to that. Um, and then there's people who said from a woman's perspective that she set women back all these years by her alleged actions. Do you think that's true?
Well, first, let me say the original lawsuit is not even with Joy.
That's what
It's
I'm saying. But we
it's
focused on her, right?
right, right. And so if you want to say girl code or whatever, Joy told her those things in girl chat. She should have never put it into her lawsuit. You got a lawsuit against the the ESPN people and Skip and all them people. Make your issue your issue. You don't have to add Joy's dirty laundry in there with yours. So I have an issue
Joy
with
must
that.
have let her down in some way, some
I've
shape.
heard that's what happened, but
Like she must have felt like Joy could have spoke up for me,
yeah,
did
yeah.
it, so that's why she aired her out. It had to be something like that.
That's what I'm thinking. But still, that's cruddy. I don't like people who don't play fair. And
But
I,
she's
and I
not.
get
Well, hold on. But the lady who brought up the lawsuit, she's not black.
right, right.
She's not black. I don't even think she's like full legit American. I want to say she's from some other country, like
Yeah.
some Muslim or Arabic country.
Hmm.
Maybe that's why she don't know about girl code. And do like white women have girl code? I don't think they do.
Um,
They
I
cutthroat.
don't know because I've never yeah, since elementary school I haven't had a close friend who was white, so I don't know.
Mhm.
In terms of Joy Reid, just say Joy Reid. That's a totally
It's
different,
all good. It's all good.
totally different Joy. In terms of Joy, I did feel some kind of way, if everything is true, to know that she slept her way to the top because I feel like you take away people's respect for you once they find out that that's how you got, where you are. The respect goes out the window because you didn't really earn it.
I don't think she cares though.
She probably doesn't. And I
Because
think, I
I don't
think,
know. Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't seen a response from her. And
Hmm.
I think some of the like the way she like communicates, she seems very confident. She's a beautiful woman. I haven't
Hmm.
paid much attention to her. I don't watch Fox Sports. I really don't like the Fox, new family, network or whatever. I was annoyed by some of the people that they put out in the forefront, like Jason Whitlock, Skip Bayless. I didn't really watch them too much. Um, so then when I seen this happen, I was like, damn, Joy Taylor is kind of fine, though.
Mhm.
I'm sleeping on her. And I've seen some of her takes. Um, I don't really think she cares.
She
Like
probably doesn't.
maybe because she's like, man, it ain't true, so I'm not gonna, put a lot of energy into it, but it don't seem like it's really impacting her a lot. Because I most people they would have like their PR crisis prevention people like on that with a statement or something. I haven't, maybe she has, but I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. And I actually think most people who sleep their way to the top don't really care, about the respect thing. Because if they did, they probably wouldn't do it unless they thought they didn't have any other choice. Um,
I didn't
and I
think go ahead.
go no, go ahead.
I didn't think it was messed up that allegedly she told the girl like if it came out, she would just tell him like I was sexually assaulted.
Yeah, I have an
That,
issue with that too.
that was, she's mixed, so that's that white girl coming out and with that type of, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that would have been wrong too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I've seen that in person, mess up somebody's career. So yeah,
Damn.
that's not cool.
No, that's not cool. And that to me, that speaks more about your character than sleeping with somebody.
Hmm.
That right
Hmm.
there saying like, oh, well, I'll just lie. I'll just
Yeah.
lie and throw him under the bus. Nah, you was a part of it. You was a willing participant, allegedly. So
Right. Right.
yeah. I don't know. You think that it makes people more skeptical about their work relationships? Have you ever suspected that your partner was smashing somebody at work?
Um, Actually, yes, I did. And that's only because I found the girl's name in his phone, and it was like it was a nickname or something. I'm like, that doesn't feel like a work situation where you got a nickname for somebody you work with in your phone.
What kind of nickname though?
It was like sweets. And the the
You could go by sweets.
the excuse I got was that's what everybody called her, but
Yeah, yeah, she could go by sweets.
I don't
It's
believe
it's it's possible.
I don't believe it. This was a military guy. This woman was in the military too. I don't believe it because usually they call each if they got a nickname, it's the last name. That I do know.
That's what
So yeah, I didn't believe it.
Yeah, it it could be. It could be. You're right to be
But that I
skeptical.
found out that was a guy who cheated on me anyway. So I don't know. That wasn't the woman that I found out about. But I wouldn't have been surprised if she was one of them.
So I definitely think there was something going on with my ex and somebody at work.
Hmm.
Uh, and I don't know if it necessarily went down. I think it probably did. Not sure. But it was definitely like some inappropriate like discussions going on because one day you talk about girl code. I'm gonna talk about bro code. One day, she came home and this is back when I used to go to the strip clubs tough. And she was like, I know what you be doing at them strip clubs. It's like, what? I go, you know how much money I got. You know I'm not out there tricking or whatever. So like I'm in there. I may get a dance or two. Uh, Eat my wings. I'm gonna listen to some music, talk shit, and I'm gonna come home stiff to you, right? She's like,
Right.
you be in them rooms, you be paying for sex and this, that, and the other. I'm like, look, girl, we got 4 kids. Like, where's this money coming from? Like where's this additional tricking money coming from? So finally, I was just like, where's this coming from? Like, and she was like, well, my coworker was talking to me and all the other women, and he was like, y'all men go to them strip clubs and y'all let them do that. Y'all don't know they be in there fucking and everything. And I was like, your coworker is a bitch ass for real. And this is back when I used to say the N word, so you know what I said.
Hmm.
Bitch ass, you know what? Because that's just not cool to go up to somebody's wife and be like, oh yeah, your husband and them, they really be doing this. And when they go
Right.
to Brazil, your husband went to Brazil. Oh shit, girl, you know what they be doing in Brazil? That's some whole ass shit, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was probably dirty macking.
Dirty, and that's what I'm like. So like, I'm not like, what kind of shit y'all got going on in the workplace when y'all talking about strip clubs? Yeah,
I
dirty
mean,
man. Like, I'm
conversations at work can go many places, but I mean, so I don't question stripping coming up, but his response to it is
and
what
I
I
don't even think it was like a response. I think he proactively went to just disturb the peace in
yeah,
people's homes.
yeah, I agree with that. That's what it sounds like.
You ever been dirty mac by a coworker or a female or just another female in general?
Um,
What does dirty macking look from a woman's perspective?
about the same type of thing. Um, I don't know if you would consider this dirty macking, but I do know that there were a couple women who didn't like me because they liked the guy who liked me.
Hmm.
I didn't notice at the time because they were smiling in my face, but it is what it is.
Mhm.
So I
I
don't know
think
if you would call that dirty macking. Yeah, I don't know.
not a woman, obviously, but I think I've seen women get annoyed when they feel like their homegirl's doing too much.
Hmm.
She being a little bit too extra with, the shit that she talks about, or being too loud, or being kind of super flirtatious, talking about, oh man, cause we sucking dick, they're just doing all that old type of shit. I,
Hmm.
to me, I've seen women be like, girl, you're doing way too much. But in terms of dirty, I don't think women dirty Mac, men dirty Mac.
Yes,
I,
they can. It's
I
you
think, I was gonna say, I think women just like flat out hate.
But that's still that is a form of hate though. But I mean, in dirty macking in the way we were just talking about, that can happen. Yeah,
Mm,
it's never happened to me that way, not that I know of, but I've witnessed it happen to other women. Yes.
that's gonna be a question we're gonna put out there. Have you ever been dirty Mac and how did it happen? That'd be a great question. That'd be a great question because
Yeah.
I think most of the dirty Mac I had, okay. I didn't even sleep with this girl. And a lot of guys wanted to sleep with her. She's very attractive and she's open about, sex or whatever. And her and I hung out and posted pictures on social media, what have you. And then, she told me, she was like, hey, one of your guys had a lot of, bad stuff to say, but I was like, what? And she was just like, yeah, like, I posted a picture, and then he immediately like was in my inbox, like, well, what does Marvin have that I don't have? And what made you go out with him? And you need to be careful. And I'm like, what? Where's all this coming from? And thankfully, most women, when a guy at this age, you probably fell for it when you was younger, right?
Hmm.
But at this age, I think most women recognize when somebody is like hating on another guy and dirty
Hmm.
macking or whatever. And I would like to believe that most women don't respect that shit.
Right. Yeah. Because it's dumb. It's whack.
Yeah. Because I've had guys do that too, and then like usually the girl go right back and tell the other dude. Because if
Hmm.
you have the dirty Mac, she probably not even really feeling you. That's why you feel like you got a dirty Mac because you can't beat the competition.
Yeah. And you usually have no game because that's another reason why you feel like you have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a situation where this guy like worked out. He's like a workout nut. He's like all buff and in shape. He takes care of himself.
Hmm.
And this chick that I was fooling with that was just, we were cool, but we, wasn't like that. Um, this dude actually took my picture tag while I was like I'm like working out. I was a big dude. And like since to her, it was like he needed to post less and work out more. And she came right back and told me. And the
Yeah.
crazy thing is, dude trying to be like up in my face, like calling, like, hey, what you think about this? Or what you think about it? I'm like, "Man, whatever, dog. And I'm not gonna confront him about it. I just know how he is.
Yeah.
I think if he was like one of my boys, like one of my like my friends who I consider brothers, the 4-4
Hmm.
4-4 crew, then I would definitely like confront them and be like, "Hey man, what the fuck is this, dog? Like, what are you doing?" But somebody who just ancillary, I'm not gonna say nothing. It's not worth it. You already a lame, so why am I arguing with a lame?
Right, exactly.
You ever dirty Mac on somebody?
No, no. Again, it's a whack way to try to get somebody. It's not necessary if you if you're confident in yourself, it's not necessary.
Yeah, you ever ask like what does she have that I don't?
No. No. And plus I don't know, once I realized that somebody I like a friend of mine likes somebody, technically that I mean typically that's like that he's off limits to me. You
But
know,
it
I
don't have to be a friend though. It could be just somebody like maybe you back in college and you know,
mm,
but you're not friends.
no, yeah, I do that's just not something I would do. No. This it's
Okay.
not this it's whack. I've never I've been a
Uh,
lot of things. I've never been a whack person. At least I don't think I am.
okay. All right. Hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
You always honest. What is the lamest or most simping ass thing you've ever done in a relationship or with somebody that you was liking?
I mean, I
Want me
was
to go
in a,
first? Want me to go first?
I mean, I can go first.
Yeah, I've done a lot. I've done a lot of simp ass shit for love. You know, I'm a sucker for love. I'll give you one.
Well,
Okay.
I have no problem with going first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go
I mean, in the toxic relationship I was in, when it was the only time I was ever broken up with. But I mean, I was devastated. I was young too, and I begged him not to leave. And I would regret that to this day. Never beg somebody. Never, never. If they don't want you, it's plenty of people out here who will. So yeah, I would never. And I mean, I have no problem admitting that. It is what it is.
it happens.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna talk about my situation, but it happens. And like you said, once you've done it one time,
Hmm.
you're just like, nah, I ain't never going back. Once you get your shit together, you're like, nah, I ain't gonna never do that again.
Exactly.
I got that good. Shit, I ain't gonna lie. There's a couple chicks I want to beg, one in particular. But nah, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. Tell you like, shut up. um, I've done some simp ass shit. I'll just talk about one. I let this girl's auntie talk me into driving her around town all day. And I like she had me at the damn laundromat, you know, folding clothes with her and shit. And it was kind of she was like her older auntie. I think she was on some shit because like she lived in another town and they was like, nah, you need to get away. And I think she was on some shit. And one thing about, you know, crackheads, especially women, they know how to influence you. They ain't got to really, especially I was like a teenage boy and she was
Hmm.
like in her early 30s. So she's like, hey, why don't you, you know, come on, let's ride real quick or what have you. And I'm like, shit, oh, okay. Man, I'm driving her around doing her errands and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm at the laundromat with this woman. And then she get done, she's like, all right, well, thank you. And I'm just like, if she got out the car, I was just thinking like, well, you really are dumb. You really are dumb. You know, I was probably about like 16, 16
Okay.
at the time, you know. Now I've done some simp ass shit, you know, after that, you know,
Hmm.
that's just one situation. So
Okay.
I said, Tay, I want you. WOT. Shout out to my Neo. Sean, what's up, man? What's up? I mean, it's cuffing season, Tay. You back on the streets?
Gosh.
It's the new year.
I don't know. I don't know.
You not
I
taking no suitors?
I've been on a hiatus, a long hiatus. Really the longest since in my adult life.
I
For real.
thought you said you was going to break that hiatus.
I haven't.
You scared?
Uh,
Don't hurt me again. Don't
I
don't
mean, pretty
don't
much.
hurt me again. That's You're gonna do that slick Rick.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I don't know. I
Tay's
mean, if
getting,
it,
Tay's getting embarrassed.
well, no, I will say I'm more open to dating now than I was last year or even 3 years ago. That's what it is. When we in 2025, 4 years ago.
it's been 4 years.
uh, almost.
Damn, Tay.
It's what
I,
it is.
I'm. I keep saying I'm gonna take a break. Uh, city I live in sucks for dating, and I have people argue me down, and they like, nah, it's just you ain't trying. Like my homeboys be like, you ain't trying, you ain't, and part of that could be true. There's certain places where you can go and you can guaranteed to meet people. That's not the bar or the club or anything like that. So I probably could do better and putting myself out there to meet
Mhm.
individuals, but it's just you know, I don't know, it's tough out here. So every time I, you know, stick my toe in, the water's too cold or something's fucked up, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go back. But like Sean said, damn, it's time, Tay. Listen,
I get the damn though.
yeah. Hey, what's crazy is you don't know him, but I do.
Mhm.
So I'm reading it in his voice. So, like, he's like, damn. I'm reading it in his voice. That's what makes it even funnier for me. So, all right, before we wrap up the show, you got a would you or would you not?
I do. So we were talking about the whole Joy, Skip, and the makeup girl thing. So in her lawsuit, she claims that Skip offered her 1.5 million to sleep with him. So my would you or wouldn't you is somebody offered you 1.5 million. Let me get the question out. To sleep with them. Would you or wouldn't you? And if you had a spouse, still, would you or wouldn't you?
If I'm single, they can offer me $150 to smash. Not gonna lie. $1.5 million, yes. It makes you think like, goddamn, like, and I've seen the pictures of the lady, she ain't that bad. Just like, why are you doing this, bro? Like what type of judgment you got? You spending 1.5 million?
Hmm.
Damn, damn. And you ain't even get it. If I offer you 1.5, you gotta sign an NDA. Like, there's no reason you out here talking about me afterwards. No,
Right.
not at all. Not at all. So, um, if I was married, now alternative when it comes to monogamy. But if I was married, it definitely would be some more indecent proposal shit.
Hmm.
And that's exactly how I'm bringing it. Hey, look, we made it. All I got to do is do this. And I'm hoping if the woman that I'm with, that she's got the same mindset that I have, she gonna be there like putting rose petals down and shit, like spraying the bed and all. She gonna be setting the scene because if the roles were reversed, I'm doing the exact same shit. Now, don't leave no bruises on the dog. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna have to up the ante if you want the booty hole. But other than that, go ahead and have fun. Y'all can have 2 nights, 1.5, because I'm getting my 750. She get her 750, and we good.
That was going to be my follow-up question. What if it was offered to your spouse?
We good. But we gotta split that thing.
Okay.
Right? I need
Mhm.
my cut.
Okay.
What about you?
Uh, 1.5 million is hard to turn down,
Look,
especially if I'm
if you don't,
single.
if you don't stop. Just stop.
Single, yes, I would turn it down. If I'm in a relationship or not in a relationship, because relationship, whatever he had to say about 1.5 million, I ain't listening to. If I'm married, it can be a discussion that I hope he would agree to. But again, I've lived.
Wait. So you're saying that if you're single,
Mhm.
somebody offers you 1.5 million.
Hmm.
Not going to do it.
No, I said I am. I am. Yeah.
What if you just had a boyfriend? Are you gonna
That's
do
what I said. I ain't listening to nothing he got to say about me accepting 1.5 million.
are you even gonna tell him?
Um, I would. That's just me.
Yeah, boy, what's up, boy? What's his name? Will Mills. Like, pack him up, son. Yeah, nah. If it's just a
But I've lived alternative lifestyles too. So for me, that it
but
wouldn't
it ain't
work.
even about that. It's about when you get money, motherfuckers start acting different.
True, true.
You got 1.5 mil, then then you can start getting the what's wrong with you? Oh, my mama's license got cut off. Like here, take this. They gonna nickel and dime the shit out of you. Mm-mm.
I'm good at saying no. I ain't got it. It's tied up. It's tied up in investments. That's gonna be my answer. If I ever get rich, it's tied up in investments. Because
What was
that'll probably be true. But still.
what what was Tariq's homeboy on Power? Braden, what's Braden's last name?
Oh, it started with a W, right? I can't remember.
Uh what was it? I got hold on, I gotta know this. Hold on. Because it goes with the joke. What was his name?
I can't remember.
Uh Braden on oh all my money is tied up in in Western investments. I ain't got it.
And they stole them people's money.
Right. My money's tied up in Western investments. Shit. No, yeah. That's something that I'm really working on this year is like saying no. Because I got hit with
Mhm.
the job story a lot last year. And that's kind of why I want a woman too. Number one, I need somebody to help me cook. And number two, I need somebody I can throw under the bus. So if I'm like, if I'm just like, they call me up, say Tay, my girl, and be like, hey, Tay said we can't do that. We got some stuff going on. So I'm sorry, I can't give you no money. I just like to
Yeah.
throw it on the fucking bus for real. Cause me saying no, I like to act like I'm hard, but like, yeah, it ain't working. It ain't working. So, but anyway, I think we talked about enough. And shout out to Joy Taylor. I want to say this. It is somewhat troubling that she's become the focus
Hmm.
of all of this, when really the two white men were the one who committed the transgressions.
Right.
It has highlighted the small but loud number of so-called black men who seem to relish in, black women not, the black women going through some hard times or just making it hard for sisters.
Hmm.
I want to point that out that it is something that we talked about Joy a lot, but it's Skip Bayless, and I don't remember the other guy's name, but he's a white.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are being sued when it comes.
Hmm.
I don't think Joy is being sued for anything, but maybe they were just talking about the toxic environment. That's why they brought her up. I don't know. But we want to do our part because we're a black show. Yeah, we talked about Joy, but really the emphasis are the two white men. So we
Right.
so all right, tell me where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe, and leave us a comment.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to the past episodes. We'll catch you next time. Peace.
Bye.